Hello, my beautiful Capricorns. Welcome back to my channel. This is Choi Leaves Tarot, where we get to your greatness one tea leaf at a time. Don't forget to like and follow and join the tribe. Let's get into it. This is what is coming in next in love for my timeless Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. Wow. Okay. Well, that's a pretty strong start. You're kind of out with the old, in with the new. There's going to be an end to a bad relationship or a toxic cycle. And it says death or situation or endings, new beginnings. So this is amazing. A new beginning is coming. You do not have to go through another issue, whatever it is. Right now you're standing standing strong in your truth and greatness, and there is a whole shift. This is going to be a shift. You're going to notice that the world around you is also becoming more kind of reflecting your thoughts, and you're kind of out with the old and with the new. I want a new, wipe out the old archaic things. And Capricorns, usually you love to go through traditional settings and actually have a goal. You always make it happen. But lately you realize, well, I'm actually one of the more creative signs. I actually should, when you finally go through life, a mature Capricorn isn't so regimented in their style. They're actually more creatively free and financially abundant. In non-traditional ways. So if the first half of your era you were going through, schooling, law school or grad school or whatever, now you might have gone into corporate America and realized, no, that ish is very fake meritocracy. You're finding out that it doesn't matter if you are the best employee or the best networker, you are not getting chose over compared to the other Nepo babies or the other guys who, maybe have a small inner circle. There's something you're not, Capricorns are kind of not willing to give up their integrity. So you're kind of not being invited to events where people are being debauchery. There's weird parties going on, or they're doing drugs and alcohol, whatever it is. You're I'm not falling for the okie doke. I like just having some gorgeous tea, some water, I like my green juice, whatever it is. You're very classy, and even though you went to a classy kind of what you thought was going to be a classy way of going up through life, turns out you were actually very different. The other thing was kind of a fake facade of what is prestigious. So you're now a really evolved Capricorn notices that their identity isn't just where they work, it's how they get to keep their integrity. And that might mean, being in between jobs to get to the next place. You're okay, back to the drawing board now that the real veil of fool's gold has been literally taken away. You're also being attracted to not just power hungry or moocher type men. You're being attracted to people who are not lying about their origins. You don't want a house husband anymore. Maybe in the past you were yeah, I'm such a go-getter, I don't mind if the guy stays at home and watch the kids. Whatever it is, you might not even want kids, but you are no, I want someone who actually has the same drive I do, in a sense that we can make it work. Because you realize no matter how hard you work, you make time for relationships, you make time for loved ones. You really are romantic. And so you're well, if they're not romantic and I have the same 24 hours, you want someone to match your greatness. And that's what you look at the 7 of Cups. All that glitters is not gold. Look beyond the clouds. Money improvements. Yeah, money improvements can also mean options of men improvements, options of significant others improvement. You're in a new class of your own. Wheel of Fortune, elevation of money, overseas trip, completion phases. So you're okay, I'm evolving. It's giving whoever I'm channeling is definitely an evolved Capricorn. You're very in your queen energy, Queen of Cups. You're not in building people up from scratch anymore. You want the person who courts you to be a real king and not just be like, well, whoever is next to me is going to be a king by just because I'm queen. No, that's not how it works. Like maybe if you were, because the thing that a Capricorn wants the most is the stability. And you've been going, in the past, you had been attracted to unstable people. Like Capricorns in their unhealed era are really highly attracted to those that want a mother figure instead of a partner, like a real partner. So you might be drawn to water signs like Pisces male men, or maybe some Aquarius or some Geminis. I don't know why, but it's like the more chaotic they are, the more you're attracted to those guys. But like all of a sudden, the more adult you get, it's like Virgo, you'll be attracted to more other Capricorns and other, or healed in general. It doesn't mean that Aquarius or Pisces aren't for you. It's just matters that you're not falling for the talk is cheap. Those are kind of like very talk is cheap type men. I'm not talking about the women, the men. Okay. And if you're the man who's a Pisces watching this for your cross watcher, or, maybe you're like, no, my guy is different. Okay, just know where you stand in your completion phases. And also, like, are you aware of pattern recognition? Do you want someone, do you want like a more of an Oprah Stedman relationship, or do you want more of a, I don't know, there are no celebrity power couples to look up to. So just think of like that person in your life, your family that is more of like a power couple. How is the structure that you really want? And why are you settling for something that's not like that? That's really what you have to start thinking. Also, it says blue eyes, fair or brown hair, women over 25 years, soft, gentle, motherly. Okay. So that's, if you don't look like that, your feminine and your softness should be toward your inner child, because that's when you'll know you're having this, new elevation. Additionally, let's see what is coming in for the Capricorn's universe. Can you give us some Chinese tea leaves? Or, yeah, let's see. Tarot universe. What does the collective Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising need to know? What's coming in for love? What's next? Ooh, okay. So, Five of Staves is very interesting. You need to be aware of people talking about you and your relationships now that you've shifted your mindset and you're kind of dating people on your level. There are going to be some people from your past, or some people who are like, if it's not even maybe people but you'll read in society, or you'll see online or in the comment section that might like, don't take it personal. This has nothing to do with you. But there's going to be people who are kind of like, she might be a gold digger. She only dates people who make this much, or blah, blah, blah. It's only because you have dated people who've made less and XYZ, and you were too like Mother Goose era in the past, where you were kind of like, I'll take them as they are. I see their potential. You're no longer falling for that. So people are kind of like, well, we know a Capricorn is always going up, especially as a woman. You're climbing and you're like, I'm not a social climber though, but the guys you have been attracting in the past were social climbers. They only got with you because you had this degree XYZ, and they thought, oh, I'm gonna match her cool, and you realize they're just kind of trying to harvest your energy or your intelligence, but that sauce is yours. So your strength is like, your strength is you are fighting back your inner kind of, but I could fix him energy, right? Because you're like, well, I've done so well. I have more than enough to share. And that's like your divine masculine side is taking over. Your divine feminine side needs to realize that, like, at the end of the day, you could have someone who's just as smart, just as intelligent, just as beautiful inside and out, and they have it going on. And I'm not talking about, oh, they're so rich and they can like control you financially. None of that. Because a Capricorn knows how to split up your money and not tell TMI, tell everybody how much money you have or don't have, because you're just like, okay, I'm going to say I'm a receptionist if I'm a lawyer, because at this point you keep attracting people who are like, oh, she's a Capricorn, bet I can mooch on her. No, you're not doing that anymore. And universe wants you to know that like the person coming in for you is a true king. So keep your eye open for that. Universe, what else is coming in for the Capricorn collective? Freedom. Wow, financial freedom. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. Exactly. You're no longer afraid of just being single, because as soon as you're not afraid of that and you're like, oh, I love my company, I love, only being with people who are on my level, whatever that means to you, right? Like, oh, I love people who literally take care of themselves, their family, they live alone like me, or blah, blah, blah. Like you could say they're homesteaders or penthouse owners, whatever lifestyle you want. They make their own gardening, they're gardeners, whatever it is. Freedom is you possessing the power to change your own and bring your own happiness in. And guess what? As soon as you do that, it's like a evolving switch has turned on, and you'll only attract the kings. So just be ready. This is your king era. That means you're attracting very good kings and emperor-minded people who bring you peace. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. Exactly. Releasing negative energy is releasing the leeches, the money sucks, the time sucks, anything that isn't making you stronger, better, feeling more feminine, more gorgeous, more safe, more, kind. That means you're with someone who has like drained your energy and left like you with a bad kind of vibe, and you don't need that. Additionally, friendship. You want a partner coming in who is very friendly with you. You also have a very good platonic friend group growing in. Maybe you're starting a book club. Maybe you're going to more galas and you meet random people. Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. It could be your sister, your best friend, whatever it is. This person might help you realize what's out there in the universe and what type of guys are out there who are not going to use you. And you're like, you know what? People could be dishonest, but what I can do is honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect the truth from myself. And you need to look into the mirror and be like, look, have I been a pushover to like what I really want? Do I really want a lifestyle where they're just like they can only afford eloping? And even with an inflation or a blah blah blah, that's not going to be forever. There is a time right now your soulmate out there is working on becoming recession proof. They're working on themselves. They might not be that person yet, but they're not going to meet you until they are that person. So you're like, in the meantime, you're supposed to like not kind of bring in the wrong type of people and be honest. Are you like settling because people said you're such a go-getter? Don't be a gold digger. Don't be this. Don't be that. You should do 50-50. Because, Capricorns do listen to the masses and the people, not in the way that, they're naive, but in a way that they're like, I don't want to mess up the status quo. I want to be respected in the eyes of my peers. But since you're an evolved Capricorn, you don't care what the peers are, because if quiet as is kept, those peers are not on your level, right? Like you went and you did the work and you still, it's like honesty keeps popping out. So we're not going to get any more of those. It's literally like you actually, quiet as is kept, are the real OG. So you have been nice. You have been playing Mrs. Nice Guy, Mrs. I'll take the brokest one and turn him into a king type person, but you're not ever doing that again. And even hypothetically, right? Like you're like, I'd rather be single. I'd rather not, Okay, let's also see which ones popped out for this. We got, wow, marriage is coming. So that is a marriage of the minds, the unions of bank accounts. You got like lots of money coming in, and it's because they see you as something so beautiful and free. We got freedom because you have the freedom to choose what type of lifestyle you want through a person. You're like, you know what? I gotta put that weird sense of like embarrassment or shame of like, maybe that's what I'm doing, and kind of like being like, you know what, that's my ego talking. I do like being divinely treated like a queen, like beauty, like someone who worked hard to come to me. I do think there's men out there. This is like you realizing there are men out there who want to give you the world. This man wants to make it happen for you. They're very loving, kind. They care about you. They're not the people who, like, if there is a disease going around or a cold or a flu, or if you're immunocompromised, this isn't the person who's like, yeah, I totally wore a mask for that, or I totally washed my hands, and then they put like salmonella in your food. Like, those are the people who don't take your life and like seriously, right? Because it's not only the good times, the fair weather friends, fair weather lovers. You want like a person who stands the test of time. So we got 5 of Swords. You're like, I am leaving what's not for me behind, and I'm not going to waste my time in communicating with people who want to be obtuse. So it's like the magician. You really are about to make it happen. It's a little best of all worlds. You're like, you know what? I am actually into the 4 love languages. I don't want just one. Why don't I deserve gifts as well? Why don't I deserve, what are the 4 love languages? It's like words of affirmation, acts of service, gift giving, and something else, physical touch, right? You're like, well, I want a little of everything, actually, or I want a lot of everything. I've done the work, and that's exactly what I want to give back too. And even if I don't want to give that back, and I want to be the only one receiving the gifts, or, my guy doing the acts of service, you deserve that too, if you, whatever you want. That's the point. You're like, your past decisions were kind of made on what looks good to the public. And that's no longer, you're like evolved now, so it doesn't matter. You're getting like the dream person for you. Universe, what else? And you realize the more edgy person who's like addicted to fame or different issues, you're like, I can't fix people like that. That's between them and their doctors and whatever. So I'm gonna move away from that. So these are your tea leaf messages. Non-toxic living. You might be more into, you're like, I want a hygienic area. I want people who care about their mind, body, and soul and their health. People who are wearing, cook maybe without plastics or ceramics. They're buying 18-8 steel pans so they don't get toxic materials into their food. Maybe they're drinking from glass jars and bottles instead, that aren't lead poisoned, versus like plastic and microplastics and all the stuff. You're the type who wants the organic food. And then we also said, look at this, grass isn't greener on the other side. It's greenest where you water it. Now, if there is no grass, then leave. So take that message. If there is no grass, then leave. It seems like where you were in the past, there was no grass. It just looked like mud, and you're like, but I can make anything grow. I'm so optimistic. And you're like, yeah, but you didn't have to do all that lifting. And what happened in the past is you got someone and they used you for like your greatness and your gifts and your career minded, because you inspire so many people, that once they got to the top, they let you down and they left and used it on someone else. You're not doing that anymore. You're like, oh, there's no grass? Okay, I'm leaving. You don't have your money, your time, and your health and wealth and mind, body, and soul together, and you don't know how to treat a woman yet. I'm not training you. You're not an animal. You're not a whatever. You're not a child. You and your family should have figured that out before you came into the dating world. So you're no longer, you're not telling them straight up like, oh, I'm not gonna date you, whatever. You're just gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm taking it, have a nice day, right? Because you're about to be in your like, I can get whoever I want era, and you just have to make the right choice now. So be ready for that, and let's get your tea bag ritual of the day so you could get your offers coming in sooner. Touch organic. So it says apricot organic white tea. Do you see that? It's like literally like the sun, a new fresh start. You're like, the fruit is bearing fruit like a tree. Did you know, like, for example, 97% of all, maybe don't quote me on it, but like it seems like more than 90% of the trees that are planted in the US are actually male trees, because they realize pollen And that's why so many people got allergies and breathing problems and blah, 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 because they realized it was harder to clean up the fruit and whatever that would fall off the trees, which were from women, female trees. Okay, so like this being a fruit is like you're in your divine feminine. You are giving the art of life creation. Maybe you're creating your own companies, XYZ, and you need to be in touch with yourself. It says organic white tea, so less caffeine, and obviously if you're allergic, do not drink that. But like the brightness, the apricot is like so bougie, so lovely, and it's like nutritious. So that fruity new type of taste is like how people are going to be drawn to you. You're going to be in your magnet phase, okay? So just let in whoever and like let go of whoever is not on your side, okay? So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.